All kinds of stuff. I mean,
Have you ever gone through a period in your life where you had no money?
No, I've never. No, it has not happened to me because when I'm pushed up against it, I work, I earn a good living, and it's always been provided. I mean, the evidence.
So you can take care of yourself.
Yeah, and the evidence that it's not going to be there, that's just my own fear because it has always been. It's not happened to me because when I'm pushed up against it, I work, I earn, provided. I've always been able to pay my bills and have nice clothes and live in a nice place.
So your barrier, your issue really is fear. And not trusting.
Yeah.
Who is it you're not trusting? Are you not trusting your father? Or you're not trusting yourself?
I'm not trusting myself.
And yet your track record is very good.
Yeah, only over the past, year and a half is really when I was turned loose to take care of myself, and that's, of course, when
I have a feeling that you could take $5 and live a whole month very well.
I'd have to question that.
No, I think you have enough resources, that you're a very clever, very bright person, and you would work it out. You could probably start out with no money, but I'd say $5 just to get you started.
Well,
and you could live a whole month without it. Remember, money is a means of exchange. It has no meaning in itself. We give it so much meaning. Okay, so your fear is that you won't be taken care of and it's going to be taken from you. Yeah. And you see where it's coming from. All right, let's have a couple more. Yes, right here. All right. She said that what came up for her that is starving, that you would starve. Right. Okay. Have you ever?
No.
Did your mother, your father, did they come from a space of that? Did they grow up in the Depression?
They did, but I don't think either of them ever, no. I mean, I would have heard of it.
Okay. All right. It's an old thing. Maybe you had. Maybe it's something that you heard very young as a child from your parents, and you've picked it up. So that's wonderful, because you see, when you do something in the mirror like this and a thought comes up, the good thing to do is to write it down. And if you're doing your affirmations in front of your mirror at home, always have a pad and a pencil with you and write down whatever that negative message is. And you don't even have to deal with it right then. But later on, you can sit down and maybe you'll have a list of them and say, wow, this is what I believe. No wonder I'm not having the prosperity that I want. You see, if we don't see what our negative messages are, it's very hard to change them. And what most of us do is when we hear or feel a negative message, we try to run from it. And we have all sorts of ways of doing that. I mean, people go to the extremes of drug and alcohol abuse and things like that. But there are lots of little ways that we run from our own barrier thoughts. And if we could, instead of that, accept them and examine them and turn them around, say, no, I don't want to believe that anymore. Remember, it's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. That's all we're dealing with, no matter how difficult it is. Feelings are thoughts in motion in the body. That's what they are. They have no entity of themselves. So we have a thought, we get a feeling, and then we get frightened of the feeling, or we try to run from it. But if we realize it's just the thought moving through our body, and the thought can be changed. So if you look at those things and you say, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to believe this. And yours just came up, but it's probably an old one there. And I don't want to feel that I'm going to lose money if I get it or something like that. I don't want to feel that I'm starving. I would rather choose to believe that I'm abundantly taken care of. I'm an extremely capable person. I can always create for myself, and I am always safe in the universe. Everything is supplied for me. We have to change these thoughts, and we must do them deliberately, because we're the people that are in charge. It's our minds. We think in our minds. Nobody else can do that. And we get the opportunity now of choosing what we want to think. When we were very little, we had a lot of stuff fed into us by our parents and other places around us. I mean, after all, we got it from relatives, we got it from neighbors, we got it from school, we got it from the church, we got it from television. All this stuff came in, and we're little, and we accept most of it. Very, very few small children really can say, no, that's nonsense, and I'm not going to believe that. Mostly children accept it and say, yes, yes, okay. But we're not little children now. We're adults, and we get to choose what we want to think. Only we have to look at what we are thinking at so we know what we need to change it to. Who else wants to share? Yes, right here.
I've had a pretty good belief system in money, I think, most of the time. And after reading your book, it really helped me a lot. And it was wonderful. I mean, it helped me so much. And I found unexpected sources of money coming in, and just my spending habits changed, and I felt great about it. I shared those beliefs with some people that I know, and I also talked about feeling like deserving certain amounts of money. And what happened was is they told me that that's not true, that what makes you feel like you deserve it, and that's not true, you have to earn it. And they know how hard I work at my job, which is not very hard. But on the other hand...
No wonder they're upset. People get angry at people who don't work very much.
Right, but I do work in other areas outside of my job.
You don't have to justify yourself.
Okay, thanks. That was my fear, was that maybe I don't work hard enough to deserve the amount of money that I have.
Honey, if your consciousness is clear enough that you can bring in good money without struggling, I want you to love yourself. You see, you do something like you pick up your little mirror and say, thank you for being so clever and bright. Thank you for getting it. Because what you really did is you got it. You do not have to struggle in order to make money. If you really work at things that you love, you can usually bring in good money. If you work at things you hate, or if you have a belief that you don't deserve, then you won't have it. But the people who are telling you you have to work hard, they work hard, yes?
Yes.
And they don't make as much as you do.
They don't seem to have as, right.
Okay. Well, you know, do you want to, see, you've put out your hand, and you've said, I'm willing to help you up. And they said, no, we're going to pull you down.
Right.
And which way do you want to go? See, I reach out my hand a lot to people, and if they take it and want to come up, that's wonderful. Then I can teach, and we can really go places. But if they're going to try to drag me down, you know, I say bye, and I go work with somebody who really wants to come up out of the mud.
I see. Do you feel that money is an exchange of energy?
It's energy. It's an exchange of services. That's all it is. It has no meaning in itself. And a $10 bill is quite as spiritual as a rose. It's matter, it's form, it's energy, and it's what we give it. It's what we believe about it. We have so much stuff on money. I used to find it was much easier to teach a class on sexuality than it was on money, because when we get our money beliefs pushed, it's amazing how angry we get. Because they're very tied into us. Even though we may say, I want to prosper, we will put up barriers and fights and all sorts of things.
So it's okay to have money even without working hard at it.
First of all, you don't need my approval to live well. And what I believe really doesn't matter for you. If you've got it going so it works, enjoy it in any part of your life. You know, if your life is filled with love, don't listen to some miserable, lonely person tell you how to run your life. If your life is working well with money, don't let somebody whose life is not working with money tell you how to run it. And see, very often, remember, this happens with our parents, too. You know, we'll have a parent who really had a miserable life. They come from a difficult place, and their own life is miserable. And then they will tell you how to run your life. If you're going to listen to people, listen to the winners. Listen to people who know what they're doing. Listen to people who've proved what they're doing. All right. Yes, right here. Coming forward.
When I looked in the mirror, the answer was there won't be enough. But I think that comes from my parents. There never was enough money. But
when you were growing up, there wasn't enough to take care of everything.
Right.
Okay.
There was, but there wasn't. But the real problem is my uncle has loads of money, and he treated people very badly. So how do I reconcile
Well, what difference does it make? There are people that are poor that treat people badly. It has nothing to do with money.
Well, it does in my psyche, unfortunately.
Now, the thing, you see, you said when you grew up there was never enough.
Right.
That doesn't mean there's not enough money. That only means that there wasn't enough money in your family.
Right.
But it has nothing to do with the abundance of money that's around. And your uncle as I said before, prosperity to me begins with feeling good about yourself. Because when you really feel good about yourself, you're prosperous, even if you don't have much money. So the people who are nasty and mean are always people who haven't the faintest idea of how to love themselves, and what they're doing is expressing their own pain. Oh. All right, let's talk a little bit more. Yes, all right, right back here. We're coming back and forth, and then Okay.
Hi. When I looked in the mirror and said that, I thought I felt kind of insecure and sort of afraid because I did inherit some money. My father died last year, and I've been finding myself like trying to give it to people.
Okay.
And I mean, I gave my mother $2,000. I gave my sister $1,000. I
What did you give yourself?
I kept some money for myself, and but it's just I think it's a fear. Like, I don't deserve it, and I'm not good enough to have this.
Well, you may have some guilt about your father, too, and feeling that you're getting money from him when perhaps there were things you needed to clean up with him, and you didn't get a chance to. So it's like, I don't deserve it, and I better get rid of it. Yeah. But while you're going through those feelings, I would suggest that you put it in a bank account or a CD. Put it in a year CD.
I did put it,
and make it sit
CD.
there for a year while you work through your stuff.
All right.
And then when you've worked through your stuff, you can go and get the money and enjoy it. But if you have your hands on it right now, it sounds like every time a guilt feeling comes up, you may give some away.
Yeah, it's and like whenever I seem to have people in my life coming in with money problems constantly.
Of course.
And it's like the first thing I want to do, I'll give you $100. What do you need? And it's like, I don't know if I'm trying to...
No, you see, they're coming to you because you're feeling the guilt about the money.
Okay.
If it wasn't, they probably wouldn't even mention that they had money problems to you. So they're helping you sort of go through your stuff.
Okay.
You need to begin to realize what you deserve. If you have any stuff with your father, do a meditation in your mind and forgive him or forgive yourself and have a talk to him so that you can clean things up. Tell him you love him and get it cleaned up in your mind, so that that can be taken care of. Then you can then move from that step into deserving for yourself, that you deserve, and that remember, money problems or lack or having money is by right of consciousness. It's what we believe we deserve. And giving somebody money does not solve their problems, ever. Because then they just recreate. The best thing you can do for people who are having money problems is to teach them how to create it in consciousness, because then that's lasting. That's much more lasting than handing some. But you can give, obviously we all give some money away at times, but don't give it away because you feel guilty. Because remember, people will say, oh, well, I have to help people. But you're a people too. You are somebody. You're worth loving and you're worth prospering. I like to think that we have a cosmic bank account, all of us. It's like a cosmic bank account. And we can put in deposits of affirmations, of positive thoughts, of believing we deserve. And we can eliminate the debts, the negative debts and negative thoughts and negative beliefs. We can take those out. And the more that you put in wonderful experiences and wonderful thoughts into your cosmic bank account, the more you will take out big dividends. Remember, your consciousness is the best bank account that you can have. What you do up here is far more important than what you do just in a bank account. Loving yourself pays enormous dividends. Enormous dividends. I know lots of people get upset because they say they're on a fixed income. But remember, who fixed it? Who fixed it? And it's a thing of consciousness. It can be changed. We want to realize that where we are is the totality of possibilities. Not a little bit, but the totality of possibilities. And all things are possible. We want to know that our job is only one channel of an infinite source. There's an incredible infinite source that supplies everything, from the air we breathe to the vegetation to the plants and the animals and the planets and the stars and everything that's imaginable. And our jobs are like one